Alright, I'm back. Um, so the game was taking way too long to load, and I'm pretty sure it was just bricked, like stuck. Um, and so what I did is I ended the stream, and I closed the game. I shut the game off, and then I turned it back on. I opened it. And actually, what I did is when I opened the game, like the first image you see, I screenshotted it because it looks cool, and I made up my PS4 background, which is really cool. It's like the cover photo of like that dude holding the gun, and then the dude with the helmet with the shotgun. The PS3, the theme customization was freaking crazy. Honestly, PS3 is so cool. Like, it's so cool. There's voice changers, so you can make your voice really high if you want, or you can make your voice really low. Sound like a spooky hacker. And then, like, if you have a theme on your PS4 or your PS3, some of the themes, they have like a song playing in the background, and they have this like sound, this different sound effect when you navigate the menu. What you can do is you can make the background whatever you want, and then you can choose what audio plays in the background or what like sound effects, and it says the name of the theme where the sound effects are, or like what theme has those sound effects, and then you press it on the audio, on the background theme audio, and then say like it's a Fallout 3 background. It has like the classic Pip-Boy navigation noises, but you want to have a Payday the Heist background. Because I remember Payday the Heist, that was a really, really fun game. I remember playing the demo when I first moved into my new house. Or this house that I'm living in right now. But, anyways, imagine you want the sounds from the Fallout 3 background, like the Pip-Boy noises, but you also want the Payday background. Like, and not the Payday noises, but the Pip-Boy noises from the Fallout 3 theme and the Payday theme. Well, what you do is you'd go into settings, and then you go to theme settings, and then you'd press like background, and then you pick whatever you want it to be. And I'm using Payday the Heist as an example. And then you choose like this like audio setting or whatever it is. And then you'd press the Fallout 3 theme, but it would just play the audio and like the sound effects. Like that was so freaking cool. And you could like import your like your own backgrounds. You can import them through USB. Which is really cool because you can actually, I think you can get GIF backgrounds. I don't know, but it was cool. And a thing that a lot of people didn't know about the PS3, it has a SD card slot, so you can upload videos from your camera, and you can import them to your PS3, or you can like just like import stuff, which was cool. And that's how some people would do the custom background, or they would just use USB. But yeah, PS3 is freaking OP. I don't care what anyone says. PS3 is still a beast console. A lot of people still play it. A lot of people still play PS2. There's freaking online PS2 games that they still didn't shut down servers to. There's still Call of Duty games on the PS2 that people can still play online, and they do still play it. And that's cool. It's like Call of Duty 1 or something. And same with the Xbox. Halo servers still have not shut down. There's still online Halo servers. There's still some, not a bunch, but like, because people shut down their servers because obviously Halo Combat Evolved is really old. I have Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox because I have one because I got it for $12 at this like store because they were selling a bunch. They had like 4 of them that they were just trying to get rid of. It was like this like thrift store because my mom, she goes to like the furniture section because she finds like really cool old stuff. And like 90% of the store is for like clothes. We don't buy clothes from there. We look at the like the old stuff, like it's really cool. And then while my mom's looking at like the old antique like chests and like just stuff like the old antique stuff, I'm looking at like the technology, and they had freaking 3 Xbox, like original Xboxes, and they were selling them. And original Xboxes nowadays are actually quite expensive. People are willing to buy them for like, some people are willing to pay like $100, some like $200. I would not sell an original Xbox for $200. I would sell it for probably like $50 or at max freaking $100. But this place was selling them for literally $12. A really awesome game console for $12. And I was like, Mom, can I get this? And she's like, yeah, because it was only $12 and it's a freaking Xbox. I'm like, that's cool. And then we went to this like old game store where they had a bunch of like old games for like, the store is called like The Last GameStop or like The Last Game Store. That's the name, like The Last Game Store. I don't know why it's called that. But what they do is they sell really old games, or they sell games for like older consoles, like original Xboxes, PS2s, PlayStation 1s, Game Boy. And I remember one time I used to go in there because my brother would get like because like the Xbox 360 had backwards compatibility, so he would get like some old Xbox games and he'd play them on his Xbox 360. But I remember I used to go in there when I was little and I saw this an awesome freaking big Pac-Man machine, and I would always ask my mom to play it, and sometimes I'd play it and then she'd just say like no because we wouldn't be there for long. And then I remember when I got my original Xbox, I wanted to get some games for it, but EB Games, which is Canadian GameStop, EB Games, they used to sell like EB Games. When I was little, EB Games used to be the shit. It was so cool. But now I feel like they freaking ruined EB Games now, because most of the store is but 75% of the store is just pop figures and t-shirts. No one's gonna pay freaking $5 for a piece of plastic that sits on their desk when they could pay $5. They could pay the same amount of money, $5, for an old video game, which is freaking probably worth more than $5 in the future. Because like EB Games, when I was little, EB Games, they used to sell PC games. I don't think they sell PC games at EB Games anymore. But they used to sell PC games, PS2 games, a shit ton of DS games, and just, a bunch of older games. and people still play the old consoles. A lot of people play them for like nostalgia. I play them because they're really fun. I love the old consoles, like Game Boy Advance and freaking Nintendo DS, like the first one. That was freaking amazing. I remember my friend Skylar. I'm not friends with her anymore. But my friend Skylar, we used to have these like, she had a DSi, and the DSi was just basically the first DS to have just a camera, and we used to go on this thing called PictoChat, and basically PictoChat is literally like texting, and you go on the Wi-Fi, and it was just like this room, and you'd like talk to your Nintendo friends. And then I used to go to EB Games when I was little, and we would get like DS games. And my brother, he still plays his DS because he has a DS, Nintendo 3DS XL. I don't mess with DS anymore. I still like it, but like, it's old. It's still fun though. But basically my point is they kind of ruined EB Games, the store, because they used to have a bunch of old cool games, and you know, like back then 75% of the store wasn't t-shirts and pop figures, and I've felt the t-shirts at EB Games, and they do not feel comfortable. They feel like something you'd get from like a loot crate. You know, like the t-shirt, the t-shirts don't feel comfortable. I got a message. See who it's from. Do you have a Wii? Corey. No, I don't have a Wii. I think, wait, are you Corey from my school? Because I have a friend named Corey, and he watches my videos. He's a fan. He's a cool fan. But no, I do not have a Wii. I used to have a Wii when I was little, and it just randomly broke. It was literally the most depressing day of my life, because when I was like, I don't know if it's just me, but when I was 4 and like 3 years old, I can remember stuff. Like I had, my brain was developed enough for me to like remember stuff when I was 3 years old. But when I was 3 and 4, like my most favorite thing about my house was owning a Wii, a Nintendo Wii. It was an old white Wii, and we had a big flat screen TV that we played on. I think it was a flat screen TV. I know it was a big TV. But I would sit in my living room and I would just play the Wii Sports, because I love Wii Sports, like the sword fighting thingy, and then the tennis. I would just love to play that. And I remember the day the Wii broke. For some reason, it was really old, and it gave up. It just gave up and stopped working, and I was sad. Wii was like my best friend, I tell you. But very sad day. They were awesome. I know. I was so sad the day it freaking broke. I'm pretty sure I was crying, but I don't know. I love Nintendo consoles. The Wii U kind of, it was weird. Nintendo Switch is cool. I like the concept that you can just like take it wherever you want. But yeah, it was depressing. It was emotional the day the Wii broke. But yeah, and then I got a Nintendo DS. I remember when I was like 5, maybe 4. Me and my brother had a blue DS, a blue Nintendo DS, and I still have it somewhere in my room, but it's broken. But I still kept it because it's old and it's cool. We had one, and me and my brother shared it, he would play it most of the time, because when we were little, after our Wii broke, my mom both got us each. Like we both each got our own Xbox 360, and I was so happy because I still remember the day. I don't remember the day that I got it, but I remember we both had each our own Xbox 360, and we had TVs. And I used to live in a trailer park when I was little. It's not like a bad freaking crackhead trailer park. I'm not saying all trailer parks are like that. But like, I used to live in a nice trailer park when I was little. Everyone was so nice. And me and my brother shared a room, and we had a bunk bed. And he slept on the top, I slept on the bottom. Just to give you a little perspective. And our room, it was pretty small. It's probably the same size as my room now. You guys don't know how big my room is. It's actually pretty small. But it's good for me, for a single person. But we shared it, and the room was pretty small. It was cool. It was a cool room. But the closet, we had like a closet. We didn't have doors on it, and we had nothing in it. It's just like a little space that's supposed to be a closet, but we never used it as a closet. It was just like a little inner space in the wall, and I put my TV in there, and I had like a stand and a nice chair. I would sit there, my brother, eventually he wanted to get his flat screen TV mounted up onto the wall, and then it like fell, I think. It like fell off. And freaking, it smashed on the ground. Or something like that. I still remember in my head seeing the TV, the flat screen TV, sitting on the floor. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it fell. I think they couldn't set it up because they didn't know how. Because it was like a really complicated thing. Because it wasn't like one of the normal ones. It was one that would like pivot and like move around. And the ceiling wasn't like strong enough to like hold it. And then we like set it down on the ground, and it was leaning up against the wall, and I don't know, it was just sitting on the floor. And meanwhile, I still had my TV just sitting in the closet on the stand, me playing my Xbox. I remember playing. I'm gonna tell you guys some of the games I played when I was little on my little Xbox 360. There's this game, really fun game, and it's a real game. Like I remember, I thought that I was just dreaming about it, but I remember I got this disc. I think it was a disc, or like I downloaded like a demo, but it's this game called Fairy Tale Fights. And you play as this little cartoon character, and it has a bunch of little fairy tale characters like Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and a couple other characters, and you just kill a bunch of like wolves and lumberjacks, and like just wolves and lumberjacks and people that would try to kill you. It was freaking, I don't know why, it was a really violent game for me to be playing when I was little, but at the same time it was like a cartoony game. You guys can search it up if you want. It's called Fairy Tale Fights. And I remember this demo. In the demo, it was like this white room, and you'd play as Little Red Riding Hood, and she'd grab this like 7-inch steak knife out of the ground, and she'd like scream, and then you use the right analog stick to like slash and shit. And it was funny. It was fun. It was a fun game. And then I remember on my birthday, one of my birthdays when I was little, I got this Aliens versus Predator poster. I was so happy. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, you know, and I hung it up on my wall, and I loved it. I was just, there's Aliens versus Predator. Who doesn't like Aliens versus Predator? And then I remember this other game. It was called Planet 51. I know they made a movie like a while ago, really old movie, but they made like a game, and it was fun. That game was fun. And then there's this game called MotoGP. And then my brother decided to get into Sony, and then he got a Sony PlayStation 3. And we still have the PlayStation 3. It is literally hooked up in my room right now. And we got that shit in like 2007, I tell you. We got that thing so long ago. It's a really old PS3. 50 gigabytes. That's a lot of space for PS3. 50 gigabytes. Nowadays, freaking systems have 500 gigabytes and 1,000 gigabytes. And right now, my system has 3,500 gigabytes. My PS4. I have 3,500 terabytes. And anyways, the PS3, I remember the first game I played, the very, very first game I played on the PlayStation 3 was Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. And I still have that game, and I still haven't beat it. I've tried to beat it. It's a really freaking long game. I couldn't beat it. Ratchet and Clank freaking beat my ass so many times because I freaking died. I died so many times in that game. I got mad. And I remember when I was that young and when I was that age, I didn't know how to blow bubbles out of gum. And what I would do is I would take it out of my mouth and I'd use my fingers and make it into a disc. It was gross. And then I would put it in my mouth and then blow a bubble. And now I can blow bubbles with gum. I don't know why I would tell you guys that, but yeah. Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction kicked my ass. That game, it's fun, but when I was little, obviously I'm little and I don't know how to play video games because I'm a freaking idiot. And I die in the game, and I get mad and sad, and I cry. I curl up in a little ball in the corner, and I die slowly. But yeah. Okay, got another comment. Let's check it out. How long does this game take to load? I don't know why it's taking so long. I think it's glitched. But if you enjoy hearing my little stories when I was little, then stay in the stream, because I'm gonna tell a couple more little stories when I was little. So car accident number 1 when I was 5 on my 5th freaking birthday. I got in a car accident, almost freaking died. Tragic moment. I'm gonna save that for last. I'll tell you in a little bit. But yeah, PS3. At that time, me and my brother both had our Xboxes, and he also had the PS3, and he got the PS3 for his 8th birthday. Me, being a little freaking me, I was like 5 because he's 3 years older than me. So yeah, I was 5, and we have the PS3. That was fun. And then we also got this other game. It's called Need for Speed. I think Need for Speed Pro Street. Really old game. Really fun. Actually, graphics were really good for freaking 2008 game. Not the worst graphics, and I liked it. I don't think I ever completed a race in that game, and I think I still have the game. But so I think I'll move on to the next story. Let me think. My friend Skylar got her freaking leg it, it's bad, but it's hilarious at the same time. My friend Skylar, when we were little, being stupid little kids, we would climb up on the bunk bed and like mess around on the bunk bed and like climb on top of it and like jump off and just like jump on the bunk bed. And she was climbing up on it, coming up on the top bunk, and her freaking foot slips. Now she doesn't fall off the bunk bed. Her leg gets caught. I feel so bad for laughing because if I was in this situation, I'd probably cry like a little bitch. Sorry, a little baby. But anyways, she was climbing up on the ladder, and then she put her foot on this other bar, but the bar was like wet for some reason, or like slippery because she had her socks, and her foot slips in between another bar and the mattress and stuff, and she freaking almost tips back and snaps her leg. That's what almost happened to her. She almost tipped back and freaking snapped her leg. And she was freaking screaming because obviously having your freaking leg caught in a bunk bed doesn't feel too good. And probably bruise your leg up. Because my legs, I don't know why, but my legs bruise really easily. I don't have any bruises on my legs right now, but I remember when I was little, I had so many bruises on my legs. And then, my Uncle Paul has to grab the girl, Skylar, and pick her up and, like, bring her off the bunk bed. And he sent her home. I don't know why, because it wasn't her fault. She slipped, trying to climb up on the bunk bed, and she freaking got her leg caught. And yeah, probably a really painful moment for her. But, another story is, let's see. Trying to remember. This, when I was, like, all these stories take place in a trailer park, like I said, when I was little. I used to live in a trailer park, and it was nice. I don't live in a trailer park anymore, but it was a little nice trailer park. People were nice there. I remember I had this little handheld purple radio, and it was a real radio, but it was for like a kid, and you could like hold it in your palm, and it was purple, and the little speaker part was like green or something, and I was just it was so fun because it had an antenna, so you can basically listen to the radio wherever you are. So you can listen to any station. And I remember I would walk around with the little radio, and I thought it was so cool because I had a little handheld purple radio. And then it was cool. I used to listen to music almost every day on it. And when I would go outside with my friends, I'd bring it, and we just like sit on the deck, be really quiet, and just listen to music. I'm gonna tell you the time I almost freaking died. I almost freaking died in that trailer. I almost died in that trailer park. And it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my parents' fault either. It had nothing to do with my parents or anything. I was outside, right? And my friend Skylar, her trailer, she has like this really big yard. I'm pretty sure most of it isn't even like her yard or anything. It's just like a giant ass field. But in front of her trailer was this big hill, and it had a pump house on it, and teenagers, I don't know why, but I went to go get Skylar, and I was with my brother, and then after we went to go get Skylar, my brother and I and Skylar were gonna walk to my brother's friend's house, and we were just gonna like sit on the deck and play like Yu-Gi-Oh. Freaking Yu-Gi-Oh, because my brother was like a freaking huge Yu-Gi-Oh nerd when he was little. He would like collect a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And he thought it was really fun. And we were walking to my brother's friend's house. And there was these teenagers on like the hill, or like the pump house. And they had a freaking bow and arrow. And they were just shooting freaking arrows up into the sky. And I almost got hit. I almost got freaking murdered. I almost got freaking killed by this arrow that almost hit me. But my brother freaking grabs my arm and yanks me out of the way. Because for some reason I like froze up and I was just standing there. And I'm pretty sure they were trying to hit me. They weren't aiming directly at me. They were aiming like a little bit up and like shooting at. And then yeah. I almost freaking died by an arrow at a freaking trailer park. And then oh, I got another comment. I'm gonna check. Isn't that a game? What? Are you asking if H1Z1's a game? With the arrows? Wait, where you shoot it up in the air? Because if you're talking about like the story, that's a story that happened to me. Like, there was these like two teenagers and they were just like shooting the arrows up in the freaking sky, and like they were just freaking hitting the ground and almost got freaking hit by them. But yeah, that might be a game. Like with the arrow thing. Like I'm pretty sure you have to like shoot it up in the air. Wait. I got another comment. No, shoot the arrow up in the sky, and the longest to stay standing. Yeah, I think yeah, I'm pretty sure they were playing a game with the arrows. I'm pretty sure, yeah. No, shoot the arrow up in the sky, and longest to stay standing. Longest to stay. Oh no! Oh yeah. You like shoot it up, and like the longest to stay standing still. Like if you don't flinch and like move out of the way, you win. But like no, they were standing on top of the pump, or they were standing on top of the hill, and they were like shooting it off of the hill, onto the field for some reason. And I like froze up because I was freaking scared. I wouldn't move, and my brother yanked my arm and pulled me out of the way. None of the arrows got too close to me, but yeah. And I remember when I was little, all these stories that I'm telling, I was really little, but I can still like remember them pretty well. And I remember there's one time when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and we went to the dollar store because I wanted to get a cap gun. Like my mom would take me to the dollar store and I would get like toys, like cap guns, because I thought cap guns were cool. And me and my friends would like pretend we're shooting each other with the cap guns. And when I was little, I only had one friend, and that was Skylar. Like I only had one friend when I was little. No one like liked me for some reason. And I'll tell you a little story from school actually. It's a pretty funny story, but the kid, he got in trouble, like he got in so much trouble. But anyways, I'm gonna continue on with the story that I was telling. When I was little, when I was like 5 or 6, I went to the dollar store and I got a cap gun because when I was little I thought cap guns were cool. And me and Skylar would pretend we're shooting each other with the cap guns because she had one. And she would just go to the dollar store and buy caps for it. I'm pretty sure, like, you know what a cap gun is. But I would have to constantly go to the dollar store. Or not constantly, but, like, I would never have a cap gun. I would never have one cap gun and always keep it because they would break because they're from the freaking dollar store. They're like a freaking $1 each per cap gun, and then the caps are like $2 per pack, and there's like a bunch of caps in them. And it was this like revolver thing, and my brother had one too. Like, my brother was kind of my friend. My brother was my friend when we were little because we were nice to each other and we would like play outside. And we used to pretend we would shoot each other with the cap guns, and we just play outside like kids do. And I remember I got in trouble for having the cap gun because wanna know what I did? I brought it freaking inside the house, and I was shooting it a bunch in the house. It was so funny because it was I can't tell this story without freaking laughing because oh my god, it was so freaking alright, it's not that funny, kid. It's not that funny. Shut up. It was so freaking loud. Like, we didn't live in I don't know why I think it's so funny. But it was a small trailer, and it was so freaking loud. It was so freaking loud. And I would get in trouble because I would bring it in. Oh my god. I would bring it in the house. Alright, I gotta freaking shut up because it is not that funny. But, anyways, I brought it in the house and I would shoot it out. It's not that funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. Alright. It's like a freaking challenge. I gotta say this story. But I would bring it in the house a lot and I would just shoot it. It was so funny because it was so loud because we didn't live in the biggest trailer. So, like, when I would bring it in the house, when I would shoot it, it literally sounded like a freaking gun. Like, got shot in my house. And it was so funny because my brother would get scared and, like, freak out and, like, run out the door. Well, he wouldn't think, like, someone's breaking in the house and, like, shooting a gun. But it was really loud. And I thought it was funny to annoy my parents with it. And I would just, like, shoot it outside and inside because I would go in this room and it was just, like, exercise room / storage room thing, and I would just close the door and I would just shoot it a bunch of times. And I had pet snakes at the time, and I was being a little freaking dick. I didn't do anything to the snakes, but like the snakes were scared. The snakes were freaking out because of the cap gun. And I had a freaking dog, and it would scare him sometimes. He wouldn't like cry, he would just like run away. And he liked me, he just didn't like the cap gun. But it was so loud, and I remember my mom took so many cap guns away from me, and she would break them. So I would she would take them away from me and snap them in half, and she would say, "You'll get another one in a week." So, or like she'd punish me, like something like that. And she'd like take them away, and like throw them out, cause they're literally $1 cap guns. And I would get upset, but I would still laugh in the end because it's so funny to freaking take a loud ass cap gun and take it to my house and just shoot it a bunch of times. And I would shoot it really fast. So it was just like and that's all you would hear sometimes when I'm just shooting it a bunch of times. And I remember, yeah, I would just mess around with the cap gun, and I remember, there's this one time, that I met a new kid. He wasn't really new to the trailer park. He lived down one of the streets, and nobody talked to him. Wanna know why? Nobody talked to him because he lived by a swamp. I don't know why. Like he lived in a normal trailer. I mean, I don't think like nobody talked to him because he lived by a swamp. I'm pretty sure people thought the swamp was like gross and like creepy because they thought something was just gonna crawl out of it and like kill them. We were stupid when we were little, but I don't know, just like nobody knew who the kid was. And I remember one time my friends told me that there was frogs down at the swamp, and then I told my mom that I was gonna go down the street, cause it was just down the road, and it wasn't like a long road or like street, and I would just walk down the street, and I would go to the pond, or not the pond, the swamp, and I saw a couple frogs, and I would just sit there, and just look at the frogs. I don't know, I was stupid. I thought they were cool. I would look at them. And then this kid comes out and he says hi to me or something like that. And then we end up going in his house, and he had an original Xbox, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And we went in his house and we played The Simpsons. We played a Simpsons game. Simpsons Hit and Run, I think. That was fun. That was like my first introduction to like a game that's like Grand Theft Auto. And my parents, they let me play Grand Theft Auto because they know that I don't take games extremely seriously. I'm not the type of person to see like Grand Theft Auto and then immediately want to go like shoot somebody. I believe that the shit that happens in video games should stay in video games. You know, she would let me play Grand Theft Auto when I was little. Not like extremely little. She didn't, like, she said no when I was like 4, but when I got like 7, maybe 6 years old, she let me play it sometimes. And mainly it was just up to my brother, cause she would say that it was allowed, but it was my brother's game because he owned Grand Theft Auto 4. I remember it was a Walmart, and I still remember that Walmart because I live close to it. And I've gone to that Walmart so many times. But he got it from this Walmart. And then that same day I got Aliens vs. Predator, the game, because he wanted to buy it for me because he had allowance, and he had like what, $30. And Aliens vs. Predator was like a $10 game. And like freaking Grand Theft Auto was like $19.99. So he got that for $20. And he got me like this $10 game. I thought it was cool. And you know, it's an Aliens vs. Predator game. A new addition of my poster that I have on my wall. I ended up not liking the Aliens vs. Predator game. It would scare me. Like the game was scary. Like when I was little, I didn't like to play it because it would scare me. Because like seeing the aliens and like the Predator. Like I had when I was little, I had like a love-hate relationship with him, or it, freaking alien thing. I don't know what he was, he had a bunch of teeth, and he would just open his big ass mouth and like bite shit. I think, but he would like take off his helmet. But I don't know. When I was little, I used to see the movies. And I used to like Predator, but the game just like scared me, and I also just didn't really like it that much. And I always wanted to play Grand Theft Auto 4 with my brother, but he was always playing it because he thought it was fun. And what he thought it was funny to drive around in the cars and like jump out and like have Nico just like roll around on the ground. And he thought it was funny. He would laugh at it. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. Like the physics in GTA 4 are funny. Yeah, I always wanted to play freaking Grand Theft Auto 4 on his Xbox 360 because he had the PS3, but he would still play the Xbox sometimes. And he got it for the Xbox. And then when I was older, I eventually got GTA 4 for the PS3 because I grew up a little bit. Like my first own console was an Xbox 360, but I eventually ended up playing Sony or like PS4. Wait, so like the guy who dressed up as Joker. Wait. So like the guy who dressed up as Joker and killed a bunch of people. He took the game seriously? What?
Bedtime.
Okay, 1 minute.
Shut it off.
Yep. Wait, what? There was a guy who dressed up as Joker and killed a bunch of people? What the hell? People are freaking weird, man. People in this world are freaking weird. I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, I remember I saw this video, and this guy, apparently he played Grand Theft Auto 4, and he just like stole a car. Wait. Broadcast, comments. Yes. Oh my god. People are freaking stupid, dude. Yeah, he was like, I would grow up, and I played Xbox 360, and I had like Halo and shit. I thought Halo was so cool. I still like Halo, but when we got the PS3, I just completely freaking switched over, and I loved to play the PS3 because eventually after we got Need for Speed and Ratchet and Clank, freaking Tools of Destruction, the game that kicked my ass, we got Uncharted 1, and we got Little Big Planet. Uncharted 1, never beat the game, and the game got scratched a bunch and never runs anymore. So what I did is, since the game was all scratched, I tried to fix it, and I tried multiple times because I really wanted to play the game, but it wouldn't work. So I got really mad. I snapped the disc and I threw it in the garbage because the game was freaking scratched to hell, like deep ass scratches. I don't know why I thought I could fix it. And I just put it under freaking hot water. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, this'll help. The game will work after this. And I would just freaking PS3 proved me wrong. It wouldn't work. I was mad. So I threw the game out, trashed it. But I remember I used to go to back when Blockbusters was still relevant, when it was a cool store and people would go to it. They freaking tore down Blockbusters. Blockbusters isn't a store anymore. Like, it isn't a business anymore. The business like shut down. I think they went like bankrupt because freaking like Netflix and shit started to come out and nobody's renting movies anymore. But like basically Blockbusters, you could rent movies and rent video games. And I remember I used to go there sometimes, and my mom would let me rent these games, cause she didn't want me to buy them because I would probably eventually get bored of them, and then just not play them anymore. But renting them, you can play them, and if you like them, then you can rent them again. Or if you don't like it, then you can just return it. But I got another comment. I still have a Blockbuster card. Oh my god, that's cool. Wait, how old are you? Just a little weird question. How old are you? Because I feel like you're like, I don't know. But yeah, Blockbusters was like such a cool store when I was little. I freaking loved that place. But yeah, freaking Netflix came out, and oh, you're 14. I'm turning 14 this July. But yeah, Blockbusters was cool. It's a shame that they went out of business because Netflix came out, because I loved going to Blockbusters and just renting games for the PS3. I would come back and I would be so excited, because what I would do when I would go to Blockbusters, I would look at the video games. I would just like walk through the aisles, and I mean, you guys. Oh, wait, Corey Barker. Oh, hey Corey. Yeah. I remember when I was little, I used to like walk through the aisles and like look at all the games, and I would just like think of like ones to get. Like, oh, should I get this racing game, or should I get Uncharted 2? Thieves Among Us. And I remember I did get Uncharted 2. I rented it from Blockbusters. It's called Uncharted 2: Thieves Among Us. And I got to this. The only mission that I remember from that game was like this mission where you hide, where you're like going through this thing, this messed up, shitty town, and then like there's like freaking this like enemy like Jeep thing that drives by, and then you have to hide behind this little this little just broken wall thing. And then I remember a cutscene playing, and you're like driving, and the car is like all weird, and you're trying to like change the gear and shit, but it's all weird. I don't know, you guys probably like don't know what I'm saying, but I just remember stuff from Uncharted 2. And but yeah, actually I will start a live stream tomorrow at like 3 o'clock. I will tell more stories, because I have so many stories when I was little. So yeah, I actually have to end the stream and go to sleep. And yeah, if you guys enjoy the stream, or Corey, if you enjoy the stream, you can like it. And if there's any new people watching this when it's not live, if you want to consider subscribing, then you could do so. You can subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I'll start a new live stream tomorrow. Goodbye.